What's going on, guys? Tony here for Geekly Games, and today we're finally going to get covering with the 3v3 that happened last week on Saturday. I was going to be doing this on Sunday, the day after, but work called, had to go in, and then since then, since I work Monday through Friday, has been a nut house. Tons of overtime going through, and obviously putting work first before fun little videos like this. We are able to finally cover the top four teams, minus the actual fourth place teaming. They didn't want to have their decks list shown. They wanted to keep their decks to themselves. So we are throwing Megazord in here, which came in fifth. So they are the next running up. So they will be featured in this video right here. So congratulations, you guys. You're one of the lucky ones. So we did have 12 teams, 36 players. Here are all the decks shown right here. I don't know why Machine Jamon is being highlighted right here, but these are the list. Well, these are the amount of decks that were played right here. Obviously, a lot of it being Royal Knights here, followed by Virus Imperial and Blue Green Imperial. So we had 5 total decks of that archetype here, along with Cross, Zephagamon, Gallant, Purple Hybrid. We did head to 7th grade Demon Lord decks and Alpha Chronicle decks. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Jackraid Alpha, who these 3 decks here, which we have this one, and this one, went completely undefeated with. So, starting with a Galaxy, this basically deck likes to print memory. You do have the, Lightfang Darklaw package right here, along with Solar for, going against Royal Knights. That pretty much stops them right there. So they have to try to find eye with this, meaning that they have to play hard play an Ace Mon just to, give neg TP to it, which is fine. This deck prints all the memory for it to combat what they just played out. So, with all that, obviously some tech choices here. Level 5s like Mega Seedra X for the Inheritable here. You can get the Wind Digivolving right here, but you're doing it for the Inheritable, of course. And also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video here, the only speculation that all these players had is that they couldn't play, Jackraid Alpha couldn't play all Galaxy, just all 3 of them. They had to play one of each archetype as a team, but they had 8 copies of a card to use, minus Gallantmon right here. I had the rule that only the entire team can run 4 copies of this card. So you're going to see a lot of decks that ran 1, 2 of this card, so they split up the power level, because I didn't want the entire meta just being everything revolving around this card right here. But for the next 3 I'm going to have it where, it doesn't matter. There's going to be no restrictions of like how many cards you can use, but the decks will obviously be the only thing that's restricted to that. So you couldn't just play, like I said before, all Galaxy, of course. So this is basically Galaxy Loop right here. Obviously, Invisi, Mirage, and Hexablow being the main mons of this deck. And then you have your little 4-piece here, just, cards that end the game, basically. So that's what these 4 do right here. So this is Galaxy right here. On to the next deck for Jackraid, we do have some Purple Hybrid. A lot's happened with this deck, with the Matt going completely out of the game. And Jackraid here, speak of the devil, with their team, obviously being hit the 1. But this deck can still just do what it does, is just mill. Duskmon right here and a Vulgar right here can just obviously mill you. Once they're able to get like, I think I've seen a max that this card ever do is milling 5 to 6 cards. It's one of those 2 numbers. I don't think I'd ever seen 6, but what you can if there's a bunch of 3-color mons on the field. But yeah, milling your opponent's another way of winning, and it gets you this much closer to this guy, which I've been seeing a lot of purple hybrid players just taking at least 1 or 2 of these in, because it just costs 2 for every card you like in the trash. And by like, turn 2, turn 3, if you're doing Velgar and hitting those like 5 mils, whatever, yeah, you can get to that card pretty fast. And also, obviously, when you're milling, you have Death Slinger, Rivals Barrage, and when you're trashing cards in your hand as well, you have Nidhogg right here to give you more memory. So deck is still in high spirits, and I do like the tech here with Cocracker Fane. Yes, you can't get like Alliance Blocker right here, or even the Mind Link, but nothing's stopping you for just Digivolving top of this, and then end of all turn spitting this out, so you're always guaranteed a Tamer in the back to just keep Digivolving top of this. So I love the thought process in that. So It's very solid purple hybrid deck. And onto the last deck for the Jack Raid. I forgot to put Alpha right here, so apologies, but this is Jack Raid Alpha. We have Real Knights. We do have, I think, 2 to 3 more decks of this. I think there might be one more. But almost lists basically run this, and it's just, where the numbers you want to go. But what I really like here is the Zephagamon Magna right here. Just get a security effect to Digivolve one. So if you like, anyone has like they swing into this and they have like an ace that has inheritables, you can just steal a turn just by digivolving it. Now you ain't gonna be able to get anything else with digivolving a level 3 whatever, because we just don't have VMons in here. But this is nice. That security bomb is nice. And then we have Gots right here to combat other Royal Knight players or any other decks that love to play by effects, which Invizimon is also one of them. But yeah, this basically is, a cut and dry, you know, Leopard, Dinomon making, all comebacks right here. I'm surprised in it, obviously all of like 5 decks, I didn't see a single person run Craniumon. This is the old one with combination of Leopard right here, where you just all gain blocker. I mean, you're just winning the game at this point if you're able to purge out and keep it your turn, but God forbid you can't. Everyone gaining blocker, and the fact that like Craniumon says, "Oh, nothing dies because everything with blocker can't be deleted by Digimon effects or just effects in general." So there you go on that one. But solid list going through. I'm loving that other Jesmon got completely taken out for this one because you do spawn a reboot blocker decoy that can just swing. And well, they can't swing, does have rush, but one of your Digimon can. So if it's something that had rush, whatever, you just swing with that. But yeah, spawning a token is really nice. So congratulations to Jack Raid for going completely undefeated. We're gonna go to second place, and we have PSP Liberation. This is one of the one of the EZgaming teams. Fourth place was also another one, so 2 teams from the actual store didn't make it in it. But obviously, that fourth team, the second team, which was fourth place, don't want to be featured. Sorry about that. So we do have Zephagamon right here. So I don't play much of this deck, or that at all. But this is a pretty solid list here. We have Togu here to spit out, your Shotos, because you just can with this. And it's not expected, like, once you have one, you just can't use this turn. So playing a Shoto for 1 is really nice. We do have the 4-cost one here, so it is, you still can play, reduce cost 3. Oh, so you just play Shotos for free. This card is really good. really good. I'm surprised not more copies of this, but Galemon is just obviously really more important in this deck, of course. But interesting check choices here, and I was talking to the player about this. Deck suffers the digivolving, so we do have the 1 metal Tyrannomon right here for protection from digivolving and putting it back from the hand and deck. And same thing with Rapidmon right here. You can just hard play this for 7. Digivolve 1, gain some memory back if it hits an ace, and also same effects apply. Can't be deleted and return to hand or deck. So you can just, go straight into your ace right here. Or just build up the stack, or you're just naturally building up with Rapidmon here. But other than that, pretty solid list here. We got Grand Gales, other Gales, and Petrus here, of course. Seems pretty good. Why did I say seems pretty good? Did really well with this. I do like the list here. Not much of a green player, but if I were to play green, this would probably be one of the decks I would like to play. So on to the next deck here, we do have some dinos. A lot of interesting stuff that I'm seeing right here. We do have, and I also talked to this player too, just to make sure you understood that, you can't ever go into this with Medieval because it's Medieval Gallant, not actual Gallant, but he was just going for this right here. So it's more card draw, which, the deck kind of lacks, because the only other thing after that, you have the Agumon right here. When you're suspending your Rutarus, you also get draw power here as well. Because other than that, search power is just these 8 cards right here. And I really wish Agumon had the ability to find Liberator, only because also you can just find this card because it has Liberator. And so does like everything else, like, Tyrannos. I mean, Tyrannos are just dinosaurs. This card can just find it, but I really wish Bandai just, got rid of the reptile part and just had a Liberator right here, so it can find, it could be in other decks for Liberators, but you know, I'm not Bandai, so I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm guessing. But other than that, pretty much standard list for Dino. I mean, we have, obviously Omni for game right here, which, this is just another form of Blitz Omni. And we do have X Antibody right here to fulfill everything on the on play or when Digivolving. I know, just the when Digivolving, you can't on play that, but, And also, this is here because Dinomon with Fortitude. If it's your turn, it went down, security checks, whatever, you can just stuff X Antibody in it and you can trigger Fortitude all over again. So, that's a nice two-piece combo you have right there. So, congratulations to our Dinomon player here for Team PSP. And then the final deck we're going into is the first look in Imperial of the other three decks that were listed in the notebook I had here. So, cool thing I like to see about this is a Salamon, but does the same exact thing as Wormmon, because it can find a free trait. Adds another color, which would be yellow, and the fact that you just gave negative 3,000 to the security. So we don't have jamming in this deck, but that negative 3,000 could might as well just make it, because there's some big mons out there, and we're only at 13 right here, so you can hit 15, 16, or 17k Digimon. So that negative 3,000 can help here. We also do have boosts, obviously, like plus 2,000 here, so we're 15k. But if we do happen to have this inheritable, that negative 3,000 means there's no afraid of any Digimon that you're gonna run into. And plus, we also have a blue-green fighter mode right here, and since having yellow, and red, this card gains a lot of DP. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. 4 colors. So that's plus 4,000. Plus security, and it has blockers. So a big 17k Digimon. Yeah. I don't know if they thought about that, but yeah, this guy is pretty big. That's if you just obviously have the yellow, of course. So other than that, you'll most likely have green, purple, and red. So, and other than that, we do have the Davises here, which is really interesting. I mean, playing out free Wormmon and Vmon, just like in blue-green, is also really nice. And that's what sometimes this deck kind of needs. Because other than the Shadra, the expensive, now $60 card, this is no longer $90, by the way. So, still expensive for what this card can do. Hoping eventually, as the weeks go on, more people are favoring the event pack one, which is, the hollow bordered. And this card maybe shoot down to $50, $40. Or we just get another reprint of this card. But, they're not going to reprint it too many times. We already got the event pack, and they could just say that's about as all the reprints we're going to do. So, I'm hoping this card lowers down a little bit. I, myself, have 3 copies of this. So, I'm stuck with 3, because shelling out another $60 just isn't happening anytime soon. So, there's that going for you. But yeah, deck's pretty solid. And you're going to see a lot of these going forward. It's just, how you like to mash things up together. So, congratulations to PSP Liberation for coming in second. On to the next group of Tamers here. We do have Tamers in Paris and Caleb. We got first look in Blue Green Imperial. Pretty standard lists right here. I do like the Madoki Betamons right here. Can't be searched though, so you just kind of have to find this as hard draw. Or your blue scrambles to just add it if it's hitting security. But yeah, there's a lot of decks that print memory. So why not have an answer to that, So we do have the Madoki here. And other than that, it's just, pretty standard. Your list of Blue-Green Imperial. Even though this card's hit the 1, this deck just still does what it does. It's a class cannon. You're able to set up and just go right into Pyldra turn 2, coming out of the gate. You're just swinging 3 checks pretty much uncontested, and your opponent just has to answer, and you just get a partition. And if they don't answer those 2 mons, well, you just do it again. And you don't even mind about the card draw, because this guy just draws your cards, and so does his inheritable. So, it's a lot of card draw still. Now, if they hit this card to 1 as well, this deck would be hurting. Honestly, if they really want to hurt this deck, you would hit this to 1 and hit this to 1. And the card draw on this just gets shot to the ground. So, awesome list right here for Blue-Green Imperial. On to the next list for Tamers in Paris. We do have another look into the Virus deck version. This is more, you see it's pretty more common, because now you're starting to see, Stingmon and the XV right here to be used for their on player when digivolving to get, to win DNAing, of course, right then and there. But we also have that on these guys and the Flames as well. So yeah, we still have like 2, 4, 6, 8 cards that pretty much all do that. Obviously, these you still want to kind of use because it's from the trash. So you can choose any of your level 4s. So you're not just limited to these two anymore. You have a little more options, of course. And then we have, that's basically it. This is like the true list. You can like the other list we saw right here with this one. You can technically like Salamons if you want to for that extra color, of course. Imperial here, of course, and Paladin, of course, too. Because why not? Because it can still go over this card. So there is a lot of things you can tech in if you want to go completely pure or broaden your spectrum and add little other pieces into it. So on to the next list for Tamers here. We do have the Royal Knights right here, which I believe this is the last one here as well. I don't think Megazord had a Royal Knight here. But again, same, almost the same as the other one. The only difference is, we do have, this player's own Sec Bomb is Crimson Blaze or just having it in hand to just wipe the field out of small dudes because this deck kind of loses to a go wide if you do not have, the new Zephagamon and the new Omni in hand, like ASAP, of course. But we also do have Alphamon right here for just that reduced cost on play to recover. Sometimes you just need it. And then it sits there for the all turns. Card is removed from security from anywhere. Give that negative 8,000 for the turn. That can pretty much wipe any level 5. So this guarantees like if you swing with something, you just knock somebody out, and that makes them lose one extra check they hit on you to win the game. And then yeah, that's pretty much it after that. Just these two cards just make up the difference, and then obviously it's just a numbers game here. We do have this Lord Knight, doing some stuff here, and then the full package of the Dinomon here. So congratulations to the Tamers in Paris. On to Megazord. You guys came in 5th, so we're guys going to feature you. And we do have some more blue-green Imperial right here. We have, I think this is the at last in blue-green Imperial because there was only 2, and this is the second one. So differences here. This player opted in for the all turns DPing, so basically utilizing the piercing for Stingmon here, going straight to Digimon. And another interesting tech choice, which also is Giga Death here, we'll get to you in a second. We do have this Pilodramon. Sometimes you just have to Digivolve in the back, Can't DNA, just hard Digivolve in the back, and just pass it up. You do have jamming in your face value here, so even if your level 4 is just a green Digimon, you've got jamming. So you just then go up, Digivolve into any of your dragon modes right here, which is just this guy right here. You can swing with this, and you get it on suspension effect just because of the inheritable. So, and then obviously after that, this does its thing, whatever, and you do have your aces and your other fighter mode right here, and obviously your paladin mode. So other than that, it's basically, cut and dry list. And we also are only just running this VMon. We're not actually running a single promo VMon at all. So interesting to know the reason to not run that card. But it's still 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rookies right here. So just one rookie or 2 less, because sometimes you can run 14 or 13. So, but still, is there still enough search power? A lot of search power. There's 4, 8, 10 cards right here that search. And then finally, Giga Death. I would love to know if you're watching this video, if you're able to resolve this card at all for 9 costs and just bottom deck some things, because I would love to see it. I've never seen it, but I've heard stories about it. But Sec Effect, this still does the same thing. Suspend 1 and then just bottom deck 1. Kind of like, it's basically a Mega Death in security. But playing it for 9, it must be. I've never done it in my life, and I would love to do it one day. To see a bunch of like small things suspended, just play this for 9 and just send it packing. So let me know if you actually have done that in the comments below. I'll give you a laughing emoji or something like that because this is hilarious to do, and this is next level stuff. I'll tell you that. So that is it for a blue-green Imperial. On to the next one, which we do have one more virus. I think this is actually featuring all 5 decks right here. So another numbers games right here, with obviously the level 3 lineups here. Is this one has just the old Shadra and Flame Dramons here that they're using. They're not even using the new stuff. And then what really caught my eye here is this card. Yes, you can only activate this once you have analog on the field because it's a white card. However, a security bomb nonetheless that your opponents can't use options for the turn. So if they just went for the nuts and swung out and they hit this and they were thinking about using options later, now they just can't. You add this to your hand, you've got an analog on the field, and you send it right back at them saying you can't use anything. No options. Well, shuts a lot of decks down, and it used to be Secon back in the day, and this happened to me a lot. That's why I stopped playing it. Just this card in general. Once I've ever gotten hit with this, I stopped playing Secon, period. And then we do have Tai Kamiya right here. When this deck was first out for EX3, a lot of players, I think every single deck had at least 1 to 2 of these, or even 3. I didn't think at 4, because your stack is big, has Sec +1, and your level 5 Pyildras also just have Sec +1. So if you have either one of them, if not both, and this on the field, that's 4 checks that you're doing with your top end, which is quite devastating, in fact. So you can pretty much like just one-shot somebody, just having Tamiya, and even having 1 to 2 of these in the sources. Oops, sorry about that. So going to the last deck, we have Cross. Very, very interesting lists we have here. You do have, you know, all the new stuff. You're not even playing any of the old stuff, really, other than, like, this Tamer right here. It's just too good not to not play, and the triple Tamer right here. But what I recently just put in after seeing this list in my Xros Heart build was this card. This little fairy guy I thought was straight up trash, and was just like, it's just not good. And then, you know, reading the card explains the card, as one of my friends once told me as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Revealing the top 3 cards of your deck and just adding any Cross, Blue Flare, or Twilight, and then playing a Tamer straight out of your hand. Yeah, I missed that. Since reading this card and playing it, I have been resolving this card, even with Meteor Rock Soul, because it plays out a 4K Digimon from Tamers. Guess what? You can just have this in there, play get a free Surge and a free Tamer out for 3 memory. That's Value Town. And on top of that, we have its evolution form, which is the Nene version. You can cross with this with Nene Amano, Shade, and Lumina for 3 costs. Choose one of their Digimon, spit out one of the level 3 or 4s, and just delete the Digimon that you've chosen. Insane. Insane. It sucks that it has to be a level 4 or lower. If they have one Digimon out there that like has 2 aces, but this doesn't have a level 4, card feels kind of underwhelming. But has a deletion effect to just play a play cost 5 anything from your Tamers. So that's where you get your Raptors and your Shooting Star Mons to come out. And just your entire low end right here you can just play. But only like the Shoutmon, Raptor, and Shooting Star have on-play effects. Shooting Star being the all turns, being a pseudo on-play without saying on-play, of course. But yeah. And then we have the Shoutmon DX here. Very interesting to why you just didn't have actual Z grades. I mean, this card does count as 2 names, so going into your Shout EX6, you know, you can just have this as 2 names and then go from there. But you're losing that extra 2 cost reduction right here. But even if you have put 4 in here, you're playing this for 3, which is, you know, manageable to be, in my opinion, and you're still getting that full value of next 6. But also for rule things, and I didn't hear or someone saying about it, or people just don't know about it, but do keep in mind with the Nene version, if you want to cross with Nene, you actually have to have the Black Tamer of Nene Amano because it specifies its full name, and the Triple Tamer only has their first names. So unless like we get a card that says on here it's also treated as all these names as a black box right here, then yeah, you can digicross with this Tamer. But or even Digivolve on top of it, because you can Digivolve here, but it's all 3 names on here, so that you can't do. But if you're watching this video, you want to add the new Nene Amano, the Twilight one, in here as well, you can definitely do that. But yeah, that is everybody's top 4 deck list here. Thank you guys for sticking around so far. We're approaching like 26 minutes almost in here, so we're gonna be shutting up pretty soon. Pretty sure to like, comment, subscribe. You did like, videos like this. I will try to do, win a box tournaments if we're able to do that in the future. Other side event stuff for the EZgaming store, and I will do videos like these, of course. So after this video, we're gonna get right back into DCGO and just some recordings from online play, at the local shop on Fridays and Sundays. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next time.